So after showing Kaylee Heat, I wanted to follow that up with Martin Scorsese's remake of the classic Cape Fear with Robert De Niro again. That's why I wanted to do it after we watched him in Heat. I was like, I want to show you a completely opposite character than Neil in Heat. And we get Maximilian Cady, who is a very, very level-headed, courteous, good citizen who's very nice to his fellow man. Holds no grudges.
No.
Not a grudge holder.
Forgive and forget.
Yep.
That's his motto.
Forgive and forget.
Yep.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Or the exact opposite.
My time is at hand.
So we have Nick Nolte, who is a lawyer, and 14 years ago, he has a case where he is defending Max Cady, and Max Cady is there for a bunch of things, and he beat this girl mercilessly, raped her. Bad guy. Nolte could have got him off because he had evidence that would have helped him, but he decided to bury it because he knew this was a bad guy, and this I completely understand. Like, Nolte's character in this movie, he's not a great guy.
Sure.
But this I completely understand, and this is why I could never be a lawyer. I could not defend someone I knew was guilty. This is not something I could do. So Max Cady, when he goes to prison, he's not an educated man. He's not a literate man. He goes in there and he is abused horribly. And he decides to spend his time learning how to read and learning how to... He learns the legalities, his rights, should I say. And he realizes that his lawyer, amongst many other prisoners, screwed him. One metaphorically, unfortunately, a lot of the other ones literally. And he realizes what he did to him, and he wants vengeance.
Oh my gosh.
So he comes after him, doesn't go so well. Yeah, we're gonna be talking spoilers, obviously, but it's what'd you think? Is De Niro a cuddly teddy bear in this? Would you go out with him? Would you hang out with him? Or you want to be his friend?
Anything with him? No. This movie, it is incredible. It is really astounding, and I was like pretty much in awe for the entire film. I think that the cinematography was insane. The lighting, of course. There's just certain shots that are so beautiful, and they speak on so many different levels for like the characters that are in them and what it means for the larger story and the character's point in the larger story. So I really appreciated all of that. And then on top of it, Robert De Niro's performance is like, I mean, I think when we were doing the review for Be My Cat, I was telling you, like, this guy is probably, like, the closest I've ever seen to an actual, like, insane person. But I now think that Robert De Niro probably did it even better. Even though they're very, very different characters and very different in terms of their psychosis, the look that he has in his eye when he's playing Max Cady, like, it is pure mania. And it is so scary, and I don't know how he's able to capture it because, like, he looks insane. Like, legitimately insane.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's so fascinating. I feel like when you sit down to watch this movie, like, you're sucked in from the beginning, and you want to know as much as you can about what happened to him and why he is the way he is, and, what he's going to do. Like, obviously we don't see the man he is before he goes into prison, so we don't get the uneducated and illiterate version of him, but just seeing how dedicated he's become to improving his mind and his body, and all for revenge, like that's his entire obsession, is just to get revenge, is like, it's just bone chilling to think that somebody could be so relentless. I mean, you trap somebody, or not even trap, but you put them in jail for 14 years, and that's all he does the entire time, is just think about how he's going to get back, at his attorney, and once he gets out. and it's just I don't even have words to describe how scary he is. Yeah. His tattoos, like how ripped he is, his like hair thing that he does, the tick that he has, like all of his physicality is phenomenal. And I loved, like he obviously touches, because he's been studying the legal system for so long, like he does everything just outside of the bounds of what is illegal. So he can't be taken in for harassment or for stalking or for anything like that, because he always has a plan for why he is where he is at a certain time, or how it looks to other, people who are onlookers, like the interaction between him and his attorney. So it's all planned out, and it's scary. The scary part is the relentlessness of him, right? Yeah. Like his complete dedication to it. And also, I guess, the other part is that he's righteous about it. Like, on top of learning the legal system, he also, like, is obsessed with the Bible and God, and has made himself into, like, a martyr, essentially, in his mind. So everything that he does is, like, vindicated, and it's, like, he has God's blessing.
Sure.
And it's terrifying.
So many prisoners, when going in, they find God while they're in there, and some use it as an excuse, some use it to justify things. This guy uses it just to add to his arsenal of revenge. Like he wants to be validated, and he wants to feel like he got the best of it, and that he's the best guy, because the best villains always are the ones who see themselves as the hero. Like Max really thinks that what he's doing is justifiable.
Yeah.
Right? Even if, like, he's ignoring the fact that what he did to get himself in prison is monstrous. He's focused more on what Nolte did as a lawyer. He's more obsessed with this guy who could have got him off for the horrible things he's done, but chose not to because of the horrible things that he did. So he's oblivious, willingly oblivious to what a monster is, because he doesn't even see it as bad. He sees, like, it's pure narcissism, right? Like everything is about him. Like what you took from me. What do you think you took from that 16-year-old girl that you beat and raped? Right? What do you think you've taken from this family after they've survived what you've put them through? Like, this guy has no concern for other people. I mean, what he does to Nick Nolte's side thing.
Oh my God.
Bites a freaking chunk out of her cheek and beats her mercilessly, breaks her arm. Like, what do you think that's going to do to her life? She had literally nothing to do with anything.
Yes.
What about the maid that you strangled for no reason? Well, this guy is a full-blown psychopath, but he is very righteous in the film for sure. But yeah, he's the reason you're watching the film for sure. It's a character study of a lunatic, and it's a Martin Scorsese picture. And for context, Kaylee has only seen Goodfellas and Shutter Island. And now this is her third Scorsese film, so she has very limited exposure to Scorsese's filmography. I've seen the majority of his work, but not everything. I mean, there's only so much time, and there's so many directors, and there's so many franchises, and there's so many things. You can only watch so many things, right? And Scorsese's movies usually run like 3 hours long too, so I can only see so much. But this one's always stuck with me. I definitely think this is my favorite De Niro performance, because like he there's definitely other performances that are great of his for sure, but like the kind of quiet, reserved, badass guy that he plays in most of the mob movies, whether it's Casino or Goodfellas or even Heat or any of those things. They're good performances, don't get me wrong. But there isn't a lot of range that he's allowed, right? Like he's supposed to internalize a lot of it, and it's more of like the subtleties. And there's nothing subtle about Max Cady, right? Like he's so outlandish. He wears everything on the outside of his body. Like this guy holds nothing in. There's no secrets about him. He's extremely cunning and manipulative.
Yes.
Like the way he's able to get at Juliette Lewis's character in this and make her kind of fall for him. That it's a very, very uncomfortable scene with him and her in the theater, and her acting in that is impeccable.
Oh my god, just to jump in, because her acting in that scene was like, it's my favorite performance aside from his in the film.
Yeah.
I think that, and it even maybe, although it's for a shorter period of time, it almost like it rivals what he's doing, because it's so genuine and so believable, and you can just see all of the emotions, you know, that she's going through with like the fear and the confusion and arousal and like, you know, this like kind of like, what is that, coet, what's that word I'm thinking of, where she's like flirty, but she doesn't, you know, she doesn't know how to be like flirty, so she's very Lolita and childlike still, and yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. And I think Juliette Lewis is a very underappreciated actress in her filmography. I think she's given some really, really sincere, great performances, whether it be something well-known like Natural Born Killers as Mallory Knox, or something super sweet like The Other Sister by Gary Marshall. That movie, oh my god, that movie screws me up. I think it is the sweetest freaking movie I ever watched. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't.
Oh my goodness. No. She plays a mentally handicapped girl who falls in love, and it's adorable and sad and heartwarming and you know, all those kinds of things. Nothing anybody cares about on this channel. But I think she's wonderful. I think she's phenomenal in this. I think Lang is really good in this as well, as of the jealous wife. Everyone plays their role very well. It's a Scorsese picture. He's not going to allow you to suck. I think he's just going to kick you right off the set. He's Martin Scorsese. He's Scorsese at this point, too. It's not like this is his earlier work when he's still like finding his footing and people don't respect him. No, he's Martin Scorsese at this point. So if you're going to be on the set, you got to be bringing your A game, or you're going to be, you know, getting right out the building. So yeah, I don't know. There's something about this performance that is very, very memorable and chilling, and like the fact that he is so obsessive and lacks the ability to feel pain or empathy.
I mean,
will say literally anything.
Yeah.
Do anything to get the result that he wants.
Yes.
Literally, imagine a guy dedicating himself in every imaginable way, physically, mentally, emotionally. He's dedicating himself to ruin your life.
Yeah.
What can you do against that? I mean, outside of just shooting the guy and then going to jail for murder, I mean, unless you're some like mobster guy that can get rid of a body real easily.
Sure.
The law's not in your favor, especially when he knows now, after he's had 14 years to study it, the ins and outs of it, and he's able to play in that real gray area of like, it's, you know, it's only a fine to poison a dog, you know. Which he's gonna go after a girl who doesn't want to be in the legal system because she doesn't want to be the one on trial. You know, like he's so like awful. Yeah. He's such an awful person.
Yeah, he is awful. It's just, you can't really even encompass everything, I feel. And I really loved the ending as well. I thought that it was such an amazing shot. after he's all crispy and burned up after being lit on fire, and he's chained to part of the boat that starts to sink, and he's like speaking in tongues. I didn't know. I was like, what is he saying? Because it was so weird. And you're like, he's speaking in tongues.
But then he starts like preaching after that, which I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's, hellfire and damnation, and like, I'll be saved and walk beside God or whatever. And then the shot, of course, with him and the waters right here, and it's just his eyes, and he's just staring as he kind of descends.
Yeah, there's no remorse. There's no, like, fear. There's no anything in him, because he never came into that situation. I should say, he came into that situation ready to lose everything and didn't care about the outcome on his behalf. Mm-hmm. He was ready to die. He felt like he won in the end. Even though he didn't, kill them, he did what he wanted to, right? He ruined this guy's life. They'll never be the same again. So in the end, he doesn't sink. It's not a happy ending for the family in this. Like, Katie goes down the victor, and he knows it. Mm-hmm. Like, when he's going down, it's like he's still so focused on the moment. He doesn't even care that he's dying. He knows it's over for him, and he doesn't fight it for a second. No. And he said it's just he immediately turns to God, because he's like, I'm fine. Yeah. This is just part of my journey.
So confident that everything is going in his favor, and he's just like a reptile. That's what he looks like, is an alligator going under the water. Yeah. And it's
and the trauma is really left, and you see that in the beginning and the end. The trauma is all left on the daughter. Yes. Right. It's the sins of the father. She is now traumatized for life, and what is she going to be like from that point on? Yes. Like, what's her dating life going to be like after she now has to wrestle with the fact that she was genuinely, kind of falling for a psychopath. Mm-hmm. What does that say about her?
Sure. The guilt, that she's going to be carrying is just monumentous. But it's not her fault. I was going to say,
I want to make it clear that what's she gonna think of her? Like, what does that say about her? It says nothing about her.
No, it's entirely
she's just a human.
Him. Yes.
So I'm not in any way suggesting like, oh, well, she's a horror or she's a
no.
Not at all. I'm saying she's gonna be questioning this thing, not me.
But that's what the emotional abuse of psychopaths and narcissists do. And people who go through, like, who experience them often do feel like there's something wrong with me. Like, it's my fault. But those people are truly, like, mentally unwell. They're not like normal people. And, when they are that far gone, like this character, like you said, he's willing to say and do anything. He is beyond manipulative and just evil, like pure evil.
So, I need to show Kaylee more of Scorsese's work, and I also need to show her more of De Niro's work. Next up would be Taxi Driver. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that's a performance that you need to see. Mm-hmm. And as far as Scorsese goes, that's, I don't know, Gangs of New York, The Aviator. There's some amazing films. Plenty of others. I'm sure we'll see 100 of them down in the comments now, but those are two of my personal favorites. Even Hugo, which is one we could watch with the kids.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be good.
Very cool movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, what do you think about this movie? Are you a fan of this one, or do you prefer the original? What's your favorite Scorsese film? What's your favorite De Niro performance? Have you seen The Other Sister? If not, it's adorable. And if you don't cry at the scene where Giovanni Ribisi's character's freaking tail falls off, then you're not alive. You are not a human being.
Aww.
That scene at the Halloween dance, oh my God.
I don't know what it is.
It is devastating. I'm just telling you. Mm-hmm. It'll make you cry. If that movie doesn't make you cry, you're dead inside. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
There's a girl from a Master of Horrors episode we know that would love to have sex with you.
Yeah, she would.
But you'd have to actually be dead.
Yeah, you'd have to die first.
All right, guys. Let us know. Bye.
Bye.